Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about a voice. It's not the voice of your neighbor, your boss, or even your family. No, this voice is much closer. It's the voice inside your own head. And if we're honest, this voice can sometimes be the loudest critic you'll ever face. It whispers doubt when you're about to take a step forward. It magnifies every mistake, downplays every victory, and robs you of the confidence you need to walk into your purpose. But I've got news for you. That voice does not define you. That critic in your mind is not your truth. It's a shadow of your fear, a residue of past pain, and a product of the lies you've been told or believed about yourself. And today I want you to recognize that it's time to silence that voice. You see, the inner critic thrives in the space where doubt and fear reside. It grows when you compare yourself to others, when you fixate on what you lack instead of what you possess. But hear me when I say this, you are not defined by your shortcomings. You are defined by the courage it takes to rise above them. But let's go deeper. That critic feeds on your insecurities, and insecurity is rooted in forgetting who you are. When was the last time you reminded yourself of your victories? When did you last celebrate the resilience that brought you through storms others couldn't weather? It's time to take inventory of your life and claim your wins. Every small triumph, every hard-fought step forward, it all matters. Speak it aloud. Write it down. Meditate on it, because the more you affirm your value, the quieter that inner critic becomes. Now, confidence, true confidence, isn't arrogance. It's not about being louder than everyone else in the room. It's about standing firm in who you are, even when the room is silent. It's about knowing your worth doesn't come from anyone's approval, but from the undeniable truth of your existence. You are here for a reason. And let me tell you something about failure. Your critic will use failure to try and define you, but failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Every failure is a lesson. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. When you embrace this truth, your critic loses its grip. Ladies and gentlemen, silencing your inner critic is not a one-time event, it's a daily battle. But it's a battle worth fighting, because confidence isn't given to you, it's built brick by brick through self-love, discipline, and faith in your ability to grow. You have the power to turn that inner critic into a voice of encouragement. You have the strength to rewrite the narrative in your mind. You are capable, you are strong, and you are worthy. And when you begin to believe that, when you start walking in that truth, no critic, inner or outer, will ever be able to stand in your way. The inner critic is that persistent, nagging voice inside your mind that thrives on self-doubt and insecurities. It often whispers the harshest judgments, replaying mistakes, magnifying flaws, and questioning your abilities. While it may feel personal and overpowering, it's important to understand that this voice is not the truth about you. It is a reflection of past fears, negative experiences, and societal pressures that have been internalized over time. This critic tends to grow louder when you step out of your comfort zone or strive for something greater, feeding on your uncertainties. Its purpose, often misguided, is to protect you from failure or embarrassment, but instead it holds you back from embracing growth and opportunity. Recognizing this voice is the first step towards silencing it. By identifying its patterns, understanding its triggers, and separating it from your true self, you reclaim the power it has over your thoughts and actions. Challenging negative thoughts begins with awareness. The inner critic often speaks in absolutes, using words like always, ever, to convince you of limitations that aren't true. It might say you'll never succeed or you always mess things up, presenting these statements as facts rather than distortions. To counter this, you must engage in deliberate and active dialogue with yourself. When these thoughts arise, pause and examine them critically. Ask yourself, is this thought based on evidence, or is it an exaggeration rooted in fear? Replace these sweeping judgments with constructive truths. For example, instead of accepting you're not capable, remind yourself of the times you have faced challenges and succeeded. Shift "I can't" to "I haven't yet, but I can learn." This process isn't about ignoring reality or sugarcoating situations. It's about reframing your perspective in a way that empowers you to take action.
By consistently questioning the validity of negative thoughts and replacing them with affirming ones, you weaken the hold of the inner critic and create a foundation for confidence and growth.
Comparison is one of the inner critic's most potent tools, and it often leads to feelings of inadequacy and frustration. When you compare yourself to others, you're looking at their highlight reel while focusing on your behind-the-scenes struggles.
This distorted view amplifies your insecurities, making it easy to feel as though you'll never measure up. It's essential to recognize that everyone's journey is unique, shaped by different experiences, opportunities, and challenges. The success or achievements of others do not diminish your worth or potential.
Instead of focusing on what others have or where they are, shift your attention inward. Reflect on your own progress, growth, and accomplishments. When you let go of comparison, you free yourself to appreciate your individuality. Your strengths, values, and contributions are distinct, and they add value to the world in ways no one else can replicate. By focusing on your personal journey and striving to be the best version of yourself, you silence the critic that feeds on the illusion of competition and embrace the peace and confidence that come from self-acceptance. Celebrating your victories, no matter how small, is a powerful way to build confidence and quiet the inner critic. Often we're so focused on what we haven't achieved or the challenges that lie ahead that we overlook the progress we've already made. This lack of acknowledgement creates fertile ground for self-doubt to grow. When you take the time to recognize your achievements, you shift your focus from your perceived shortcomings to your strengths and capabilities. These victories might be as simple as completing a task you've been procrastinating on, overcoming a small fear, or making a difficult decision.
Each one is a testament to your resilience, effort, and growth.
Documenting these wins can make them even more impactful. Writing them down in a journal or speaking them aloud reinforces their significance and creates a record of your progress that you can revisit when the inner critic starts to speak. This practice isn't about arrogance, it's about honoring the effort you've put into becoming who you are.
Each victory, no matter how minor it may seem, is evidence that you're capable of growth and success.
By regularly acknowledging these moments, you build a reservoir of confidence that can help counter negative self-talk, reminding yourself that you are stronger and more capable than your doubts suggest. Affirming your value is a vital step in silencing the inner critic. Often the critic thrives on your lack of recognition of your worth, convincing you that you are not enough or that your contributions are insignificant. But this couldn't be further from the truth. The key to countering this is to intentionally focus on affirmations that highlight your strengths, potential, and unique qualities. When you affirm your value, you create a foundation of self-belief. It's not about becoming arrogant or prideful, but about acknowledging the inherent worth that resides within you. You are worthy of success, love, and happiness simply because you exist. The more you repeat these affirmations, the more your mind begins to accept them as truth. Positive self-talk doesn't have to be grandiose. It can be as simple as acknowledging your accomplishments, your kindness, or your determination. I am enough. I am capable. I have what it takes to succeed. These affirmations can start as small statements, but over time will grow into powerful reminders of your worth. The inner critic cannot thrive in an environment where you are actively reinforcing your self-worth. When you make it a daily practice to affirm yourself, you shift your focus from what you lack to what you possess. This practice doesn't just silence the inner critic, it replaces it with a voice of encouragement, one that recognizes your true potential and calls you forward. True confidence is not about being the loudest person in the room or seeking constant validation from others. It is a deep, quiet strength that comes from within, a steadfast belief in your own worth, regardless of external circumstances or opinions. It is not dependent on applause or recognition, but rooted in an understanding of who you are and what you stand for. This kind of confidence isn't built overnight. It's cultivated through self-awareness and self-acceptance. It's about embracing both your strengths and your flaws, recognizing that they are all part of what makes you uniquely you. True confidence allows you to walk into any situation with the assurance that you belong, not because someone else has given you permission, but because you've claimed your space.
When you operate from a place of true confidence, you don't need to prove yourself to others. Instead, your actions and decisions are guided by a sense of purpose and authenticity.
You become less concerned with what people think of you and more focused on living in alignment with your values and goals. This inner confidence acts as a shield against the negativity of the inner critic. When doubts arise, you can remind yourself of the foundation you've built, one based not on external validation, but on the unshakable knowledge of your own worth. It empowers you to take risks, face challenges, and pursue your dreams, knowing that even if you stumble, your confidence will carry you through. Failure is one of the inner critic's favorite weapons, often used to convince you that you're not capable or worthy of success. It takes the sting of a mistake or a setback and amplifies it, turning it into a narrative inadequacy. But failure, in reality, is not the end of the road. It is a necessary part of growth and learning. When you shift your perspective, failure transforms from a source of shame into a powerful teacher. Each misstep provides valuable lessons about what doesn't work, offering insights that bring you closer to what does. It's through these lessons that you gain the wisdom, resilience, and creativity needed to overcome challenges and achieve your goals. The most successful people in any field have all encountered failure, often repeatedly. What sets them apart is their ability to see these moments not as defeats, but as stepping stones. They understand that failing is not the opposite of succeeding. It's a critical part of the journey toward it. By reframing failure as a natural and essential component of progress, you strip it of its power to define you. Instead of allowing it to fuel your inner critic, you can use it to build your confidence. Every time you rise after falling, you prove to yourself that you are stronger and more determined than the doubts trying to hold you back. Failure is not a verdict on your abilities, it's a challenge to grow. When you embrace it with curiosity and courage, you silence the critic that tells you to stop trying and replace it with a voice that says, keep going, you're learning, you're growing, and you're getting closer. Silencing the inner critic and building self-confidence is not a one-time event, it's a continuous process, one that requires daily effort and intentionality. Each day, you must consciously choose to challenge the negative thoughts that arise and replace them with affirmations and beliefs that empower you. This consistency is key to transforming the way you perceive yourself and your potential. It's easy to slip into old habits of self-doubt, especially when life gets challenging. The inner critic thrives on these moments, amplifying your fears and insecurities. But if you approach each day with the mindset that you are actively working on your self-worth and confidence, you gradually build a resilience that becomes harder for the critic to penetrate. This daily effort doesn't mean you need to be perfect. It simply means that you commit to showing up for yourself, regardless of how you feel in the moment. Whether it's taking time to acknowledge your wins, practicing positive self-talk, or stepping outside your comfort zone, each small action compounds over time. Building confidence also requires patience. You won't silence the critic overnight, and you won't always feel confident every moment of every day. But with consistent practice, you begin to see patterns emerge. The critic's voice becomes softer. Your ability to challenge negative thoughts becomes stronger, and your belief in yourself deepens. By committing to this daily work, you are gradually reprogramming your mind to focus on your strengths, your growth, and your potential, rather than your flaws or past mistakes. It becomes a lifestyle, one that keeps you moving forward, even when doubt tries to slow you down. Each day is a new opportunity to reinforce the confidence you're building, and with each effort, you're one step closer to silencing the inner critic for good. Building self-love and faith is essential for silencing the inner critic and cultivating lasting confidence. Self-love isn't just about feeling good in the moment or seeking external validation. It's about accepting yourself fully with all your flaws, strengths, successes, and failures.
It means recognizing that you are worthy of compassion and care, regardless of the challenges you've faced or the mistakes you've made.
When you practice self-love, you stop waiting for others to affirm your worth because you already know that you matter. You understand that your value isn't determined by how others see you or how well you perform. It's inherent in your very existence. This self-love acts as a shield against the harsh judgments of the inner critic. When that voice of doubt starts to speak, you can counter it with love and affirmation, reminding yourself that you are worthy of kindness, respect, and the opportunity to grow. Faith, too, plays a crucial role in this process. It's not just faith in a higher power, but faith in your ability to overcome obstacles, to learn from your experiences, and to keep moving forward. When you have faith in yourself, you trust that you have the strength and resilience to handle whatever life throws at you. You believe that no matter how hard the journey may be, you are capable of rising above it. Together, self-love and faith create an unshakable foundation for confidence. They enable you to approach challenges with a sense of assurance that you can handle what comes your way. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or doubt, you embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. With self-love, you give yourself permission to fail and to learn without judgment. With faith, you remind yourself that you are never alone in your struggles and that every setback is part of the greater journey towards success. When you nurture these two elements, self-love and faith, you build a reservoir of inner strength that no critic can diminish. You become less susceptible to the opinions of others or the negativity that might surround you because you are anchored in the knowledge that you are enough as you are. And from that place, you can step into the world with confidence, knowing that your worth is not up for debate. Rewriting the inner narrative is one of the most powerful tools in silencing the inner critic. For too long, many of us have allowed negative self-talk to dictate how we see ourselves, and it's easy to get trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. But the truth is, we have the power to change the way we think about ourselves, and with consistent effort, we can rewrite the story that has been playing on repeat in our minds. The first step in this process is becoming aware of the language you use when you think about yourself. Pay attention to the words that fuel your inner critic. Phrases like "I'm not good enough," "I can't do this," or "I always mess up" are common signs of a negative inner narrative. These thoughts often arise in moments of uncertainty or failure, but they don't reflect your true potential. Once you identify these negative patterns, it's time to replace them with empowering thoughts. Every time the critic says you're not capable, remind yourself of times you've overcome challenges. Replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am worthy and enough as I am." The more you practice this, the more the old narrative begins to lose its power. Over time, you'll begin to believe in the new story you're telling, one that highlights your strength, resilience, and potential. This process takes time and persistence, but it's about more than just positive thinking. It's about reinforcing the truth of who you are and what you are capable of. By focusing on your successes, your progress, and your inner strength, you create a narrative that propels you forward instead of holding you back. The more you rewrite your inner story, the more you begin to see yourself through the lens of possibility, not limitation. You start to recognize the power within you to take action, to grow, and to overcome whatever obstacles stand in your way. Every positive affirmation, every challenge you embrace, and every small victory you acknowledge adds a new chapter to your story, a story that is written by you and filled with confidence, strength, and potential. In the journey to silence your inner critic and build unshakable self-confidence, it's essential to recognize that this transformation is not about perfection, but progress. The negative thoughts and doubts that you've carried for so long do not define you. They are echoes of the past, but they do not dictate your future. Through awareness, practice, and a commitment to change, you can challenge those limiting beliefs and replace them with affirmations that honor your worth and joy. By taking the time to celebrate your victories, big and small, you remind yourself of the strength that already exists within you. With self-love and faith as your foundation, you empower yourself to face each day with the confidence that you are worthy, capable, and resilient. Failure no longer holds the power to diminish your spirit. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone to greater growth and understanding. And with each deliberate action you take, no matter how small, you reframe your inner narrative and build the belief in yourself that the inner critic once sought to erase. Through consistent effort and a deep belief in your ability to rewrite the story of who you are, you begin to free yourself from the grip of doubt and fear. Confidence is built every day, every thought, and in every decision. When you choose to honor your journey, trust in your strengths, and affirm your value, the inner critic fades, and you step more fully into the powerful, confident person you were always meant to be.